Hey guys, and welcome back. I'm Dave, aka the Costume Kid, and
It's high noon.
so today we're going to be making a McCree costume from Overwatch. Now, I've actually never played Overwatch, I'm not a huge video gamer, and I've actually never made a video game character on the show here, so that'll be fun. I've gotten a lot of requests to do something from Overwatch. I originally wasn't going to, because of course I'm not familiar with the game. I know it's a really popular video game, but that's about it. So I asked on Instagram, at the Costume Kid, if you want to follow me there, what character from Overwatch you would like to see me make, and a lot of you said McCree. Looked him up. He looks pretty awesome. From what I've seen, he kind of looks like a cowboy with like a bionic arm, or maybe it's like a metal bionic gauntlet or something, I don't know, but it'll for sure be awesome to make. With that being said, if I get some of the details wrong or I accidentally say this is used for this when it's actually used for this, please point that out in the comments, but try to be nice about it, because I don't know what the thing is in this game, so yeah. Well, I've got this blueprint printed out here, and let's see what we're going with. Basically, it starts off with some just normal brown and tan clothes, kind of cowboy-like. Then he's got this yellow and a little bit of silver armor piece over that, so that's kind of mixing the cool cowboy western themes with like the sci-fi stuff. I'm really liking this character. Then he's got some belts and things, and then a cowboy hat, which is awesome, and a bionic arm. This might be a bit of a longer video, I don't know. You can of course see how long it is right there. You can skip around and watch different parts if you're only here for some stuff. I might also attempt to make his gun, his Peacekeeper it's called, at the end, so that'd be cool. But let's get started. So the first step is of course getting our basic clothes from the thrift store. What I have here is a nice tan shirt. This is about $5. Looks pretty nice, just a long sleeve tan shirt. And then also for $5, I got this brown pants. Just looks pretty nice, classic brown pants. I also bought a couple of brown belts here. These were about $3 or $4 each. Wow, this is about the most boring compilation of thrift store clothes I have here. So I think the first thing we're going to start with is that main yellow chest piece he has. So of course we're going to make that out of some EVA foam. This is going to be a nice layered build. We have a base layer there, and then another thing that comes off that, and then the pecs on top of that. So probably a 3-layer EVA foam pile. So I am basing this whole thing off of myself, my chest here, so it's probably going to be different from yours in some way. So I'm not going to give out exact measurements or anything. Also, I'm just going to eyeball this. Who uses measurements? Alright, so I'm tracing my chest here, trying to get an accurate size and shape of the chest armor here. So I'm drawing that out. It's kind of a weird shape. I'm eyeballing it, looking at the picture. Yeah, but it's just basic chest armor, guys. There's no sleeves, and it's just, yeah, chest armor, I guess. So you can just measure it up against yourself. I used about a whole sheet of EVA foam. You might need less, you might need 2, but yeah, and then cut it out whatever size you need. Hey, we got a chest piece there. Looking nice. So now, just tracing out and mapping out where the next 2 layers will go. Alright, so the second layer covers pretty much all of it except that bottom area, the ab area. And for that, I used this piece of yellow foam. However, it's not quite big enough. So that, the yellow part is the part that's mainly going to be showing under layer 3. And for the part that's up above that, I just used different scraps of foam pieced together. You can see right there. It was kind of difficult and it left some seams, but what else am I supposed to do? I was almost out of EVA foam. Okay, so this looks kind of weird, but I'm running low on foam because I just made a Captain America shield and a hoverboard before that. Okay, so now using some blue foam, I drew, well, first on a piece of paper where the pecs are going to be, and then traced that onto the blue foam, cut them out. I just barely had enough of the foam to do the pecs, so I'm out of foam now. Okay, the pecs here are completed, and now we can glue them on with some contact cement. Okay, now that we've got our nice chest armor here, it's 3 layers, looking really awesome. It's time to heat form it. Now, you notice sometimes I heat form things at the start, sometimes at the end, sometimes both. Now this, I had bent it a little as I was working on it, but I hadn't actually heat formed it until now after everything's glued together. So that's just using a heat gun, and then we can give it a little bit of a curve, so it'll work with your arm. Arm, body, chest. Why did I say arm? Alright, so now that this is a little bit heat gun curved, fits better with my body now. The next step, which you could do before or after heat forming it, is using the rotary tool here and just beveling some of these edges, because if you see in the pictures, some of them are beveled in different ways, and I'm going to do that now. Alright, all the beveling, sanding is done, heat forming is done, got a cool bend, works really awesome. I added a few thin craft foam details, so that is pretty cool. The last thing on this is there are 2 pipes that go over here, but I think we're going to attach those after we paint the whole thing because they're a different color. So now we're going to work on the back piece. So unfortunately, I realized I don't have enough EVA foam for the back piece. I just made the Captain America shield, and I don't have much right now. So right now, I'm going to work on a different part of the build, and then we'll get back to the armor at this time. So now we're going to work on McCree's 2 belts. So I went to the thrift store, bought these 2 belts here. There's a thicker one and a thinner one. The thicker one here, this was $3, and I'm going to be making it into his Banff belt. Now the thinner one here was $4, which makes no sense because the belt buckle here was cut off, but I didn't need it anyway. This is going to be the belt that has an ammo pack, I think. Alright, so for this belt, I'm going to make the buckle out of probably just a piece of cardboard cut into the shape, and then for the letters, that's B-A-M-F, I'm going to make them out of some thin craft foam. Alright, there's your very awesome Banff logo. That's pretty cool. I just freehanded all the letters in the foam, and they turned out looking pretty accurate. So now I'm going to show you guys how I make my super awesome, super custom belt that's fit to you. Now I've done these on a few other belts that were not necessarily you need to do that, but for this one it's pretty necessary unless you want to have a big bulky belt buckle that would be like in the back maybe, but I'm going to show you how to make my Velcro belts. Basically, first step is you want to cut off the belt buckle. We don't need that, but I like to save these in my junk box. Now you want to figure out how far it is around. This could be anywhere from about the size of the belt to, you know, really skinny. Mine's about here, I'd say. So you can cut off the little bit of excess, and then I like to glue this, as you can see, about halfway through there. So it gets a strong enough adhesion, but it's not fully covered. Then, this is big right now, but what you want to do is put some Velcro here. I've got this pack of Velcro, this is only a couple bucks. So you put your one side Velcro here, and your one side Velcro here, then you can latch shut and latch open, and it's super awesome. Alright, so I was just about to glue the belt buckle on there, and then I'm like, no, silly me, I gotta paint the buckle gold first. Alright, while that is drying, we can work on our second belt, and that just has 6 little bullets for ammo recharge. So for that, I decided, instead of trying to make my own, which you pretty easily could, or you could use some Nerf bullets or something, I decided to use some pens. I'm just gonna cut them all off right here, and I think that'll look like pretty cool bullets after they're painted gold. Also, this has the Velcro buckle too. Alright, here's my finished 2 belts, looking pretty awesome. So, hey guys, it's actually been a few hours past the previous clip, and I'm ready to work on the back piece now. Or not really ready, but I'm going to. So in that time, I went to Home Depot, where I normally get more packs of the foam floor mats, and I went right to the section where it usually is, and they have different types of foam and rubber and stuff, and then there's just a blank hole where the stacks of the foam floor mats should be, and there weren't any. So I was pretty frustrated. Honestly, the most frustrating part about it is that I didn't bring my camera so I could have vlogged at the experience, but it was sad. So to make this back piece, unfortunately, because I'm crunched on time here, I'm gonna have to make it out of scraps. Yeah. So as much as I don't want to, I'm gonna have to piece this together. I think I have enough scraps that I've, just from different things, that I can put them together and cut them but there's gonna be a lot of seams. And don't know quite how I'm gonna do that. I could try to cover it with craft foam or something. More on that to come. Alright, so basically what I'm doing right now is recreating the first layer of the original chest piece. And this would be super easy with one piece of foam, but instead I'm layering all my scraps together, placing them next to each other, seeing where they line up, and then drawing that, cutting it out, fitting it together, pretty much exactly like a puzzle. Alright, now that the recreation of the original piece is all glued together, the seams and stuff, I can modify it a little to make it the back piece. It doesn't go down quite that far. I kind of cut it off and then have a little trapezoid piece cut out too. Alright, so now that this thing is looking pretty nice, it's a lot shorter, but it's got its own design now. There are a lot of glue seams in it, so that won't look very good, especially, well, right now it's different colors, but after it's painted, it's just going to be a lot of ugly seams. So I think I'm going to cover that all with some craft foam, some thin craft foam. I have a big roll of this stuff, so it's super awesome. I decided to go with the roll now because if you remember, I was just always getting packs of those just rectangular sheets of foam, which is pretty good, but by ratio, because I think this is like 3 foot by 5 foot, this is about the same size, about the same price, if not cheaper, and then you can make shapes that are bigger than a normal sheet of craft foam, like this. Because this foam is, of course, in a roll, when I take these weights off of it, it tries to curl up, and you'll have a really curled part of foam, which, that's kind of like a lot of things you buy in a roll, it ends up like that, but luckily, a little heat on it, and it'll flatten right out. Alright, now that we got this piece of craft foam on there, it's actually not looking bad. So there is another layer over that doesn't cover the full thing, kind of like, the front piece, it has another layer, just 2 though. And I decided it's not quite thick enough for the 1/2-inch EVA foam. Also, I don't have enough, so I'm just gonna make it out of some craft foam, maybe 2 layers of craft foam. Okay, so on this thing, I drawed out what I want the second layer to look like, just half of it. Then I traced it onto a piece of paper. So we can take this paper, trace it onto our white craft foam, and of course flip it so we have 2 sides of the craft foam. And then I'll probably make 2 of those, stick them together so we'll have a decent size layer. And then of course glue that whole thing on there. Okay, as you can see, I finished the second layer here, and it's 2 layers for most of it, which makes it a few millimeters thick, and then even a 3rd layer for the center rectangle here. Now it's just time to glue it onto the base. Alright, now it is time for both the heat gun and the rotary tool treatments. Alright, now it is time for a nice coat of Plastidip. Plastidip is a vinylized kind of flexible spray paint that's good for coating your foam in. Alright, now that these are all painted with nice Plastidip, we can hit them with this goldish yellowish type of color. Golden Sunset it's actually called. Now, normally when I go from something like a black to this yellow color, I'd have to hit it with a silver or a white or something like that, because this will really just make the yellow look dingy because it's on black. But this time I'm actually okay with that because it'll kind of look a little more weathered, and I was thinking of going over it with black after anyway in some places to make it look dingy in the first place. So yeah, I'm okay with that, but just paint it over with white if you don't like how dark the gold is going to be. Alright, now this is looking nice and yellowy gold. Really, really awesome. You can see it's not quite even in all the places, and it's kind of black in some areas, and I'm really liking that. It makes it look just the right amount of weathered. Now, there are some silver trim along a lot of these shapes in the different layers, and for that, you could try to mask it off and paint it, and that would totally work for you, but it'd take a long time with the masking, and there's the chance it could peel up some of the yellow paint, because this is a nice glossy paint. So I don't really want to go through all that. Instead, I'm just going to use some nice silver duct tape. Alright, now that this thing is done, it actually looks pretty awesome right now. We can do the 2 black tubes that are on it, which I'm going to be using this 3/4 inch just, flex tubing. This was originally kind of like a grayish silver that I painted black, which I know it won't stick very well because this thing, cracks all around, but even after it breaks, it'll look silvery, so kind of like weathering. I'm actually going to hold off on doing the black tubes until we attach them both together so they'll fit that curve. And let's do that now. Alright, so it's taken some time and I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna make some type of side straps, because I sanded the edges and I was gonna glue them together, but I realized trying to get them to bend all that way, it really wouldn't have looked good, and then it would have been just not the right size, so I'm like, should I trim them and then glue, or should I glue like this? But I decided after all that, first I'm not going to make the side straps, I'm going to make the top straps. So I'm just going to use probably some duct tape, like my playing card costume. Pretty much exactly what I'm doing with this is what I'm doing on my playing card costume. Is attach a strap to here and to here, and then another one on the other side. So basically you can just put it on like my playing card costume, just over your head, and then maybe after that I'll try to figure out some way to make some side straps, possibly Velcro ones, so you can take it off. Alright, trying it on now. See, you've got 2 straps here. Put the whole thing on, get the hot fluid on my face, and then boom, we've got this nice front chest armor and back chest armor. It's not chest armor, it's on your back. So I don't know if I'm actually gonna do the side straps. You could do it, it's up to you. I'd suggest probably doing Velcro for the straps, because you wouldn't really be able to get it off if it had solid straps there. You wouldn't be able to take it off on your head. But I think the main thing I'm going to do is trim the sides here, because they are a little long, and like where my arms are. And then I added the tubes. Alright, I got my respirator tubes done, and now that is it for this awesome chest armor. I like it. Alright, so the next thing to work on is his Bionic Arm Gauntlet thing. Awesome sauce. So I'm starting with just a regular old glove here. Works pretty well, and I'm going to build off of that with some craft foam and stuff to make the awesome details. It only goes about this far, and it looked pretty cool. Hey guys, so there was a cut there, and I actually just found this thing. It was under the table from a long, long time ago. I think it was for something, for being like a gauntlet, arm bracer thing. I don't exactly remember. Well, I think this was from like a failed cyborg costume or something. But it does just the right amount of just bulking up the arm here. I think I want to use it. To make the foam bracer a little smaller and thinner before it gets to the glove part, I'm gluing on just an empty roll of duct tape that I think will look pretty awesome, and that'll be our nice base. So next, we can do all the details. Pretty much entirely craft foam. Okay, so you gotta really pay attention to this time lapse here, exactly what I'm doing. Now, I'm just winging pretty much everything here. Added a few plates to the glove. I'm not gonna do any individual foam things on the fingers because I still want them to bend. And then I'm adding a nice blank spot for a skull in the front, and then I just freehanded a skull. And then this nice ribbing texture on the back, looking pretty cool. All kinds of crazy foam details and some junk box stuff. Awesome. Alright, there is pretty much the finished arm. I'm pretty happy with the details. I've got, well, for the back here, the underarm, got this nice scale texture, which looks pretty awesome with the foam. Got a few different plates and stuff around here, different junk box accessories, and then on the front, the skull. I didn't glue it on yet because it's a slightly different color when it's painted, but that will go right there, looking pretty awesome. Now it's time to paint. So first I'm gonna hit this thing with a nice even coat of some gray primer here, just to cover up all those different colors we got going on and give it a nice base. Oh really? I dropped it all the way down there? Alright, now that it's all covered in gray primer, I would just hit it with the silver first, but I think I'm actually going to hit it with just a little bit of this blue here, because you can see in some of the pictures, the silver does have a little bit of a blue tint, kind of, a little bit of blue sheen to it, and then of course the silver after that. And then probably following that, I might hit a few areas with a little bit of flat black, because well, you can kind of see in the gray primer it wasn't perfect, and there's the nice black weathered areas, and I want to keep most of that so I can dust it with a little black in the end and make it look pretty cool. Okay, so while it is drying, we can work on his cape, or serape, or whatever it's called. It's basically just like a piece of fabric that wraps around his neck, and then it goes off and it becomes a cape, so I don't know, it's some cowboy thing. But let's do that. For the serape, or I'm just gonna call it a cape, I have this, and I was going to hit the fabric store and buy just some cheap red fabric, but I found this, which actually has a pretty cool texture, and the end of it's sewed, so it's not, but it looks nice as the end, and then I might still cut it. This was, I don't know, it was $3, and it's actually a tablecloth, so it's much cheaper than going to the fabric store, so it's pretty cool. So basically, I think I'm just gonna cut it down into the shape I want, I guess. I'm just gonna kind of wing it, just something nice, like a long strip to wrap around my neck, and then be. Oh yeah, this is looking pretty cool. I got my scarf part in the front, looking like a cowboy, and then it's a cape. Yeah, basically what I did is I safety pinned it somewhere. Where's that safety pin? Yeah, here we go. It's safety pinned right here, and then it makes like a loop that I can stick my head through, and then there's also this long part, which I like to put in the back. Pretty cool. It's done. Easy. All right. This glove is all painted. It looks really, really awesome. So I dusted it with quite a few different colors. Silver, blue, some more gray, and some black. All kind of mixed together in there. Looks pretty awesome. And now you can see all the little different details, whether it be foam or pieces from my junk box. They all really stand out and just make it look like a cool bionic arm. The skull was dusted with a little more gold to give it that bronzy color. Now we can glue that onto here, and we'll be done. Alright, the hand is done. This looks really, really awesome for it being so easy to do. It's just pretty much entirely foam details. I can add this to my gauntlet collection now, and we're good. Alright, now on to one of our last things, McCree's hat. So, this was difficult. I searched far and wide, for a possible cowboy hat to use for this. My original idea of what I wanted was one of those foam cowboy hats that they have at the dollar store. I used one of those on my Rick Grimes hat from The Walking Dead. And I went to 2 or 3 different dollar stores and none of them had them. I found cowboy belts, cowboy holsters, cowboy badges, but not a cowboy hat. So eventually, at a thrift store, this is the best I could find. It's about the right size and shape. Looks pretty cool. It would work, I guess, but it's the wrong color, that's the thing. So I'm gonna try to paint it, although you see the texture here, it's got like that wheat texture, and his is like more of a leather hat. I don't know how this is gonna work out, but I'll try it. Different options I was thinking of, I'm like, should I cover it maybe with some craft foam, give it a better texture, but that wouldn't really work. And then I thought maybe paper mache this. I might do that if the spray paint doesn't work good on this, but I'm gonna prime it and paint it with some dark brown spray paint. Hopefully that'll work. From a distance at least it'll look solid brown, but you know. Use like some foam hat or something from a dollar store. You saw my Rick Grimes video, that's what you should do. But this is what I have, so this is what I'm using. The primer seems to be holding on pretty well. I can still kind of flex it. It's doing okay, I guess. Although these lines are very noticeable on it. I'm hoping when I hit it with the dark brown spray paint, maybe it'll hide them a little more because this is a light color. But I'm fairly happy with it right now, and I'll keep you updated. Hey guys, so the hat would be brown right now. We have another problem. I used this brown can of spray paint, glossy brown, beautiful color, like last week, and then I set it down, and now I went to go pick it up today and use it, and it doesn't spray. This can of brown does not work anymore. I don't know what it is. Of course, this was the cap, so I had to scrape all that off. Autofocus. Wow, okay, there we go. And it's nice, clean now, but still won't spray. So then I tried putting it onto just a different one, a nicer one. Still won't spray. So it's something with the can, and I don't know what to do. It's like a relatively full can, and I'm kind of mad right now. I've tried everything, trimming off like this part. I don't know what to do right now. So this brown is dead to me. Unfortunately, it's my only brown. So I tried mixing yellow and black, but that just didn't work. So I don't know what to do. Yep, it's been a while. I've searched through every possible place this spray paint could be. I have no other brown paint. So my only other option right now is black. His hat is definitely a dark brown. I'm gonna do black. I might try to mist it with some reds, oranges, golds type of stuff to try to make it a little more brown, but I don't know. It's not gonna be the right color. You guys do dark brown. Do as I say, not as I do. It's times like these where it sucks to be a kid who spray paints a lot, because I'm totally down to bike to Home Depot right now and get another can, but I can't get it because you can't get spray paint if you're under 18. Alright, here's the finished hat. If you look closely, it's not 100% black. Yeah, it kind of looks like it right now in the light, but it's actually got some brown look to it in real life. Now the way I did this was, first I hit it with black, and then I tried dusting it with a little bit of the yellow and the red spray paints I have, but that really just didn't work. It'd either be too strong or too light and just get speckles on it, so I had to repaint it black. And then I decided to try to hit it with some of this. It's not spray paint, it's orange hairspray. So it's a little bit thinner because it's for hair and it's temporary. Not temporary on objects, I guess. And I'll probably clear coat this after, and it actually looks kind of brown in real life, I guess. Camera's not picking it up, but I'm more happy with it now. Okay, so while the base hat is drying, we can work on the little pieces that are on it, the gold details that are on the hat. I'm gonna make those out of, you guessed it, foam. Okay, the hat is back inside now. It's decent. It's whatever. At least the paint stuck very well, and I think it looks very cool. It's just it'll never be perfect because it is much more of a black than a dark brown like I wanted, but whatever. Anyway, these are nice and gold now, so we can glue them on. I think I'm gonna make a strap out of some tape just for some finishing detail, and then glue those onto there. Alright, that is it for the hat. I think this turned out pretty awesome. Alright, one last thing you could do, totally optional, up to you. There are many different tutorials out there for making McCree's pistol, which is called the Peacekeeper. But I thought I'll make mine real quickly here. I've got this dollar store pistol. Now mine's not going to be 100% accurate by any means, but there are other way better tutorials out there that you should check out if you want to make a very detailed Peacekeeper. I'm just going to use this, maybe add a couple pieces of foam, paint it, we'll be done. Alright, now it's time for the big reveal.